Hello, we're glad you're still with us here on Morning at NTV. The hashtag on Twitter is Morning at NTV. Be part of the conversation today and of course every Monday to Friday when we are with you 6:30 to 9 o'clock. That is the standard time for your premier show in the land. Allow us go into a discussion on something that is very pertinent for this country. It is in the arts field. Now, of course, this discussion, when I say arts field, some of you will be saying, hey, what is in vogue is sciences, but at the end of the day, the arts and sciences do combine to make the world what it is. We are taking note about the fact that honoring performing arts education luminaries in Uganda is something that should be at the forefront. Now, just a preamble. The faculty at Makerere University has initiated a process to have a retired teacher of music, Zadok Adolu-Otojoka, recognized with honorary professorship at Makerere. Across 52 years, he served as a teacher of music education, a cultural administrator, a conductor, a dancer, opera performer, rising to heading the cultural affairs department of the East African community based in Nairobi. Now, that is a good story. I'm joined in studio by the man himself, Professor Zadok Adolu-Otojoka. A very warm welcome.
Yep.
How are you doing?
Not bad.
Not bad.
Very good.
Okay.
I feel good.
All right. We'll be hearing from you, your story, and what the performing arts today can learn on how exactly you laid the foundation and your contemporaries in exactly how things are right now. Allow me introduce to Dr. Milton Wabiona, a lecturer at the Department of Performing Arts at Makerere University. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
I saw you came hand in hand with the professor.
Yes.
Of course, given his condition, he's a senior citizen. It's always emboldening to have a more farmer person helping. But I do understand you are behind the organization of this whole project. Before we speak to Professor, tell us and let us understand why Professor is on the show this morning.
Thank you very much, NTV. Professor Zadok Adolu-Otojoka, I am privileged to be one of his students.
Thank you.
And through the times when he taught to us, he inspired us quite greatly. And he has inspired millions across the world. And this whole story started when I published a paper in the United States. It is published in the Journal of Historical Research in Music Education.
That's right.
That saw that he did quite a commendable job as a music educator, which is worth sharing with the world. So out of that experience that is chronicled in that paper, we decided to take this initiative further to keep, not just to keep the legacy of such a great man or an exemplary individual alive, but also to keep the ideals and the values that he stood for through his professional career, to keep actively shaping our society today, even when he is not in active service.
That's right.
So that's why we started the Zadok Adolu-Otojoka Excellence Award, and for which we are going to have a concert on the 9th of September to launch a fundraiser series so that more people can walk into the steps of this great man and get the inspiration and probably move our country to another mile. All
right, that's interesting. I see you're holding a book. Is that what chronicles the work, the biography recital?
What?
Can I have it?
All right.
Yeah, what we are holding here is the College of Humanities and Social Sciences at Makerere University presents Zadok Adolu-Otojoka, a biography recital, lessons from half a century of music teaching. We are honored to be in your presence.
Certainly.
Tell me, what is your story?
No, I'm very much convinced that for you to call yourself a musician, you must practically appear as a practical person. There is no way of talking that you are a musician with the theoretical part of it. That's right. Without a practical part of it. That is the only time they will say you are a musician, because they have seen you on the stage, practically, with the people. And that's why I was convinced when I was teaching music, I made sure that behind there, I do a lot of work, practical work, practice it myself in a way I want to present myself. at the background, what you see on the stage, there is a lot that has been done behind.
That's right.
And I used to be considered by some other people as having some mental problem, because I would be walking, but I must
humming to yourself.
If it is a German song, I must present it in a way a German would do it.
All right.
And unless you do some work behind the doors by yourself, there will be nothing that will appear to show you as a musician.
Okay.
I did a lot of that.
That is an illustrious career, 52 years as a music educator, a cultural administrator, a conductor, a dancer, an opera performer. Take us through what you consider to be your milestone events. Either you were performing or you were part of the cast that was responsible for some of the displays, either on the international stage or even here locally.
In this country and elsewhere like Nairobi, whenever I was invited, either to participate fully as a performer or take certain parts when a group has come from outside.
That's right.
Yeah. When a group has come from outside, they will always want some other people, because they cannot, an operatic group coming from Australia, for example, or Austria, cannot come with everybody.
That's right.
They will only bring the major parts.
So they will need help from
they will get help,
people here.
And they would not take anybody that they think will lower their standard.
That's right.
They would always look for a person whom they think will lift them up. And I was very proud to be one of those, always, whenever I was chosen.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just switch very briefly before I return to you, Professor, to Dr. Milton Wabiona. You are putting this concert together.
Right.
And when somebody out there who is watching and listening to the show hears the words of a professor and wants to understand, if it were an opera, what was it about? If it were dance, what kind of dance was it? Is this what we are going to see? Are there any recorded clips, or are there people who are going to do performances to give us the representation of what perhaps Mzee did at that time, because we can't expect him to go, you know?
Certainly. For starters, he is actually going to perform.
You're kidding me?
Yes, he's part of the cast.
Wow.
I will have...
He's part of the cast, and he's going to conduct a classical piece by Mozart.
That's right. Mozart.
Yes.
Interesting.
It is going to be a concert.
And
I'm very happy to come and do the conducting.
Okay.
And remember what I used to do.
What you used to do.
Yeah.
All right. Just details on that concert.
So just to catch up on one of his most memorable performance he featured in was a musical, a rock opera by Andrew Lloyd Webber, Jesus Christ the Superstar.
Yeah.
Now, Andrew Lloyd Webber is a global brand in music composition.
Yeah.
He's the one who wrote the Phantom of the Opera. So the Jesus Christ Superstar was one of the musical that was written in the 1970s, and Zadok performed a major role as Caiaphas.
Caiaphas.
Now, that role required an extraordinary quality of a human being to sing, because it had the lowest notes that a human voice can sing. And even the cast that came from Austria did not bring that person, but they had Zadok do that. So what are we going to show at the concert? Now, the concert is going to... We showed a lot of it at the biography recital, which happened in March at Makerere University. And this concert is going to feature a classical presentation of pieces that are characteristic of some of the qualities and the ideas that represent his professional career. You see, the theme of the concert is love, grace, and mercy. So we are putting all those ideals in music. And when you come to the concert, you're going to see Zadok, not just the human being, but also the music that we present. We're actually presenting him. He was not just a classical musician. He was also a traditional dancer.
That's right.
He was the head of the heartbeat of Africa, which was a national dance troupe in the 1970s.
Yeah.
And graced all the presidents from Milton Obote through Idi Amin and traveled the world. So we shall have a section B of the concert to bring out the traditional music and dance of Uganda as part of his professional career.
All right, that's very interesting. I'm looking forward to that, but time is not our best ally. Allow me to ask a professor to give us your view on the current trends in music, dance, and the performing arts. There is what could be called a configuration of so many things today that we do not know what it is at the end of the day. How do you see the current trends in the music, performing arts industry, and how best can we go back, you know, more like do things better, either by borrowing from what you did to enhance today's performances?
What I see currently is that the young people and also the present people would like to take something which is very easy and do it repetitively.
Yeah.
So that the artistic part of it is a little bit not convincing.
That's right.
They don't like to go on to doing things that are very difficult to do.
The attention to detail is
yeah, that's the trend, the current trend. And even the audience, the trend is take something that you can immediately also repeat.
Okay.
And take that as a very artistic.
Okay.
Which is quite different from the time we were teaching music.
All right.
We wanted to explore all the difficulty parts of it, and people are not ready today to spend time doing something very difficult. That's what I see. Even in churches, you find the same thing. People think that learning something which has been written in solfa is a waste of time. Going deep into doing the correct thing, and yet that's the only way you can get together to see something artistically.
All right.
Yeah.
Doctor,
yes,
are those sentiments you're capturing when you're rolling out the kind of curricula at the Department for Performing Arts at Makerere University?
Absolutely. When I returned to Makerere University, I was also kind of challenged by the current curriculum that we are letting out. We are kind of limited in a way we are teaching our students. Like Papa says, music, unless it is done, you just have a score. And we have lost a lot of the practical element in our teaching. When I was a student, we had what used to be called people theater. Now, people theater was a course unit where all the students will be taken out to the field.
That's right.
To practice what they learned in the lecture room. So the current trend has been more focused on the academic stuff and theoretical stuff in the lecture room, and less of the real music happening in the communities. And music is a community discipline. So I think that is a dilemma that we have, and that is part of which the MAC Choral, the Makerere University community choir, is trying to address. We're bringing these students from the lecture room and put them into practice. Can you practice what you learned on the score? What does it mean? All right, very lastly, when is the concert again? The concert is going to be on the 9th of September at the National Theatre and 16th of September at the Ndere Center. There are 2 shows. All right, if you don't know exactly what will be happening there, I can just give you a preamble, something to show you exactly how things are great at this particular initiative. College of Humanities and Social Sciences presenting Zadok Adolu-Otojoka, a biography recital. Well, interesting there. Let me just ensure that you see a part of this. I'm sure my social media people will be able to amplify that message. And of course, in support of Makerere Ensemble, would you consider joining and supporting? All forms and levels of support are highly welcome and appreciated. If you'd like to audition, join the choir, please email Dr. Milton Wabiona at, well,
The email is there. We shall be sharing that a little bit later. But the concert is on. Professor, many thanks for making time. It's been a pleasure hearing from you, and I do look forward.
I would like to encourage this kind of a program, because it's the best way to bring out what is hidden.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure having your company on the morning show today. Now, we shall be going into the Kickstarter discussion, where we shall be looking at a lot more issues, including the topical aspects relating to the African Readers Conference of 2022. Priscilla Regina Naloga will be up with that. Do stay with us. You're watching more.